All right. Welcome to Azure Grand Assembly, May 2026. It's already May. It's almost June. Where'd the year go? It's half over. All right. If this is your first Azure Grand Assembly, please know that we have 3 announcement phases. We will do raffles in between. We take a little break between each one. We will be here probably about an hour and a half total. Most announcements today will cover Final Fantasy XIV. As we are a large gaming community, we do have a few updates for our Azure Wings as well. Those who are wing commanders from our wings, if you have anything that you would like to say on the floor here when we get to that segment, go ahead and let me know, or do the hand raise that we have here in the channel. We are streaming out of our Discord here in the Azure Infinitum Discord. We have a handful of folks as well on Twitch, and of course those watching in the future when this gets compiled on AssemblyCast. Exciting. Yes, we will be having a Q&A here towards the end. We welcome any questions about topics presented today, as well as any ideas, proposals, comments, or feedback for the council and I are always welcome. And of course, if anything goes wrong with this recording and you can't hear me for some reason, let me know immediately. I think everything sounds good on all my ends. Alrighty. Well, we got some fun stuff to talk about today. This might be a little bit shorter of an assembly this time. Not that we don't have as much to talk about, but just simply that I think the topics will be easier to get through this time. Not easier, quicker. Quicker is the right word. All right, and before we begin announcements, as our tradition, we would like to welcome all the new members of Azure Infinitum in the past month since the previous assembly. When we do this, I usually go down a list of names within the last 30 days that have joined us and give them a proper welcome. Of course, some of those names might be present here with us, so if you see them, give them an extra round of applause and a great Azure welcome. Okay, we want to welcome Edge Wormreaper. Welcome, Juno Darkhaven, Unwol Bronwyn, Hob Saville, Balkar Bitterleaf. Let's see, we have a returning Azure Warden from Destiny, Mud Dog in our Monster Hunter Wilds clan. And Shishi Lita, welcome. Balderic Skysong, Mike Stormbreaker. It is possible while going down this list, I might name off an alt or something, or someone that might have left since they joined. So bear with me. Balzino, Kirian Kujarna, Sharon Pendragon, Osmodius Belphegor. I find myself pretty accurate with names, but if I get any of these wrong, please correct me. Laramie Oshkot, Kaelric Lycoria. I think I know who that is. Right, and Eris Lycoria. Eat Glue. Rumiru Rimu. Altair Valanche. Septimus Cygnus. Caleb Lirnol. Welcome. Ula Kiloya. Welcome. Draculora Denial. Taya Vanash. Kazuto Kirigaya. Oh, not Kirigaya. Sorry, that's a different character. Kazuto Kaguya. It's sword art on the brain there. Cookie Apocalypse. Helvis Graves. Welcome. Treasure Coffer. I like that. I think we need more treasure coffers. Always use more treasure. Flash the Riper. Hope I said that right. Tayo. Option Select. Ermine Leroux. Rinkushi Kusanagi. Mithril Idozeth. Dragonbox Pico. Uh-oh, Stinky. I like that one. Khaled Ymir. Ardent Shadow. 12 gauge. Shingo Tsubasa. Shingo, an older member, welcome back. Joined us on the 10th there. Stella Paradise. Over in our Warframe clan. Kiba Late's character Rezi Kora. And then back to 14, Mr. Chaos Lord, August Dawn, Solian Neuken, Bibby Bibbins. Bibby Bibbins. I'd like to see a conversation between Bibby Bibbins and Bilbo Baggins. I think that would be interesting. Isaac Hanula, Michael Woolsey, Makari Deka. Welcome, Tazarus Dragonborn. Kikuchio Mifune. Welcome. Setzer Blackjack. Over in Warframe, Dark Black Knight 24. AKA Hellfire. 14, Kerry Colley. Dalandir Invictus, Freerin Meh. Valen Reese, William Whitestrake. Whitestrake, straight from, I believe, Tamriel. Whitestrake's Mayhem. That's just what it reminds me of. Pokeyman. Marshmallow Supremes. And then over in WoW, we had Jeremiah. And then back at 14, Nova Zalash, Zeri Undertow, Barrett and Ferret. Like that rhymes. Lux Asteris, Sarax Larthnort, Barak Yo Mama. Clever. Ramleth, nope, he left actually. Mezintar, well, welcome anyways for the time you're with us. Ramlethal, we miss you, come back. Mezintar, Vantam, Arky Winky. All right, and I believe, well, we got 4 more here since the last assembly. So Atori Senshi, Sam Axe, welcome. Silva? It's like PS. So okay. Aragol, welcome to you. Aragol Adamanti. All right. Many names. I didn't count this time how many that was, but there was quite a bit of names there in the last 30 days. Welcome, new members of Azure Infinitum. As free as the Azure sky. All right. Big welcome to you guys. You've joined a very fun bunch here. It's been around a long time, and we have so long to go. Starting the Godless Realm saga come January. Everybody excited for Evercold? I know watching the Azure Infinitum FanFest live stream party that we had at the end of last month. I think that was right after the last assembly. Brain's kind of mush today, but I think we were all very excited. I don't think there was a single disappointed person for what we saw there from FanFest. So Evercold looks really, really good. So we're going to be talking about the road to Evercold today, which we kind of will also touch on throughout the year as different content drops. But that will be a thing. That'll be a thing this year. There's going to be 3 more drops of, micro patch drops, part of 7.5. So lots to look forward to. And, at our assemblies, we will talk about how content drops affect Azure and how we strategize to make the most of that for this community. So a little bit on that today, specifically current stuff and 7.51. There we go. And 7.53, which is actually very close as well. We'll be probably talking about that a second time at the next assembly, since that'll be before then. But it's still good to look forward to, and it kind of goes with another announcement today as well. So yeah, happy Make It Rain Festival. That event is going on now. Make It Rain campaign over at the Golden Saucer. That's 50% plus bonus to your MGP. I know some folks that really want to get that Blackjack. That is a really cool airship from Final Fantasy VI here in 14. It's a 4-seater. I don't have that one yet, but I think I'm at like almost a 3 mil MGP, so not too far away. Just a mil. Yeah, that's all. But here's a really cool fact. As of the other day, we announced that we will be having a 10% daily MGP grade 2 buff for the FC to go along with that, and that goes along with it giving you 60% MGP. Of course, if you have a personal Golden Saucer VIP card, then you can actually get even a little bit more, just a smidge for like 2 hours. You get 15% on top of the 50. So definitely want to get those VIP cards from your Grand Company squadrons if you haven't already. It doesn't really take long to get there to where you can get them. Very useful. You pop them each day when you go to do your mini cactpot, or maybe right before the jumbo, and get a huge reward. But we will be having the MGP buff up every day till June 27th. I think it was. Let me double check that. Don't want to misquote here. Oh no, I was off. June 24th. June 24th. So from yesterday all the way to June 24th, MGP buffs up every day. That take place of our secondary buffs. So we have a main buff, which is usually like EXP, or something really really useful, and then we have the second one that's also really useful, but can be replaced during events like these. So tons of jackpot buffs, tons of MGP all month long, all the way through to the end of July on the 24th. So, but don't worry, we're not sacrificing any EXP buffs. Maybe some food buffs and some seal buffs, but there's been a lot of talk of retainers and getting Coke and Glamour prisms for seals. So I think there's been a lot of seal gain here lately. I think we could take a month off of the extra bonus seals. Not to mention that they do have squadron seal scrolls, so useful. But anyway. It's mainly just a little bit of food and the other stuff that's being replaced by MGP. But it's a special occasion, right? So I think we can pop an extra food here or an extra squadron scroll here or there. The cost of buying fun stuff at the Gold Saucer. Okay, so that's something fun going on. Later this summer, as some may remember, during our Azure Summerfest, which we're not quite ready to talk about just yet. That'll be probably the July assembly. We'll have all those details. But during Summerfest, we also have the Summer Saucer Night. So that's another time of the year that we do actually do a big FC Golden Saucer event. So, no major reason to mention that now. It just came to my brain suddenly after thinking about all of the jackpots. All right, so as we know, 7.51 is upon us. This is going to bring a number of things, just a few things, not a lot. It's not a major patch. This is a minor patch. Let me adjust the sound a little bit more. I think the music is a little overpowering on my end here. There we go. I want it to be a completely silent thing in the background, but I wanted to stream people to have something nice to listen to as well, besides my lovely voice. So, Golden Saucer. Okay, we are. Yes, 7.51 is upon us. So, Dancing Mad Ultimate. There's going to be a lot of people looking forward to that, and good luck with that. Ultimates are not really my thing, but I wish you guys the best on that. However, there is the custom deliveries coming, as you may know. So, there's some folks who follow this stuff as closely as I do. Others, might be hearing about this for the first time. So I like to explain what it is. The custom deliveries is where you can get extra scripts for crafters and gatherers and kind of help an NPC fulfill a sort of goal or a little mini storyline. And most of the time, they're really heartwarming or neat to see. And sometimes you go back to old areas that we haven't been back to in a while and help out an NPC on something, whether it's there's a lot of things. Yeah, building a train or restoring someone's garden or a million different things. But the cool thing is the week. It's a weekly, and it builds up a reputation bonus where you can actually glamour that NPC later on. So you can give them a nice Azure uniform when you're done, or put them in swimwear, whatever you want to do. We put a Namazu head on them with Subligar. But that's coming soon. That's the final custom delivery of Dawn Trail. So that would be Auntie's Tacos custom deliveries. And then, of course, Akisia. That is the latest and greatest, and probably the last cosmic exploration planet. At least that's the last one announced during Dawn Trail. I think they're wrapping it up with Dawn Trail. I don't know if they intend to keep that going or not, but they've released quite a bit of content with it already. So that's the last Cosmic X planet. So it's good for our FC to know that. One, Cosmic Exploration, very good for getting your Crafters and Gatherers up. Two, that's the Crafters and Gatherers relic, per se, the relic tool for this expansion. It is a little bit of a grind. It's a fun grind, and, we recommend hanging out together and doing that as well. It can be a lot of fun. You can be at different stages and, still benefit and, be there with FC mates and stuff. It makes it a little bit more fun. But that also means that there's only so many months left that these tools are going to be super useful, and getting the relic means going into the expansion being able to craft just about anything within, so many levels, probably most of them, until the new recipes come out and stuff. But it's very nice to have. And, even though Evercold is in 2027, I try to remind people that 2027 is only 6.5 months away. So not too far from now. Well, okay, it's actually less than 6.5, but that's probably when the expansion is coming out. I don't know if it's going to be, first week or last week. We don't, none of us know yet, so we don't have a release date. But just kind of targeting the center of January, that's 6.5 months. So somewhere in that 6 to 6.5 month range is all we have left, and that's going to fly by really fast. So we're going to hit New Year's, and then bam, Evercold. So good time to start working on cosmic exploration stuff if you haven't already. At this time, you can actually just blaze through the quest to go through to the latest planet. You don't actually have to spend 1,000,000 years on each one, I don't think, unless I'm wrong on that. I know you can get to the current one by just doing the quest. So not too hard. I don't know if you have to go back to the old ones though for the different stages, because I'm behind on mine. But that's all coming here June 2nd. So a couple days from now, that's launching or dropping into the game. And that's pretty exciting. So lots of MGP, getting ready for Ultimates, Cosmic X progress, and getting ready for those custom deliveries as well. Don't forget, too, custom deliveries allows you to collect those nice scripts, which can actually get a lot of stuff. And usually, I believe you get so many allowances that you can do like 2 NPCs at one time. So, wherever you are in the game, as long as you're Heaven's Word and up, you can do custom deliveries. The new one is in Dawn Trail, though. So, but if you're already Dawn Trail content, go ahead and just pick 2 of the Dawn Trail ones. Even the ones you've already completed, you can still get scripts off of. You can still go back to them. So, really nice. Especially, like I said, the mount tokens are purchasable with those. Those are tokens that currently buy 2 of the mounts that's locked behind that content. I think that's the Ronique and the big jumbo tender, or whatever it was called. The big muscly cactus. All right, so for those who've been seeing our advertising, we have Azure Grand Duel Tournament 31 taking place tomorrow on May 31st. So that's pretty cool. 31 just happened to line up. That was not intentional, actually. I realized it right after I confirmed it with our champion, and I was like, oh, 31, nice, okay. So this is going to be Vidario's next title defense. Lieutenant Vidario Superstario Centermore be defending his title tomorrow, the Infinitum Championship, which is a championship that we have continued to run tournaments with, and all kind, and we've had some special exhibition type things in the past as well, but this has gone on since 2016. This is a long running thing now. This is the 10th year that we've done this, and I believe, I don't have an exact date on me right now, but I do believe we started that in the summer of that year too. So this is pretty much the 10th anniversary time period of our tournament series. And if you're curious about the tournament's history and want to see what the old, champions were like, there's like 11 or 12 champions, and on the page, there's a page called Champions on the website. You can just click Community, and then you go to the Champions page. You can view the whole Hall of Fame, and it's pretty cool, actually. There's old matches are listed there. We have our longest record was a 2-year champ that was undefeated for 2 full years. So it was ex-General Felana Breeze, used to be in our community. 2 full years. That's a long time to hold a title. Vidario just passed the 1-year mark at the last tournament. So he's on the way. He's very determined to break that streak. Break that record. So this will be the next one, and we'll see. There's also a prize pool, and it's not just about the championship fight. It is a full tournament. It's a 1v1 fully bracketed tournament. Whoever shows up from our community, of course, our allies and our any of our extended stuff like the Infinitum Reserve Corps, all welcome to come compete. Even if you're not super good at PvP, come anyway. We would love to just have you there, whether you want to watch or whether you want to try and enter. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, we need the bodies to help build the brackets so we have enough fights for the brackets to be even. So, so yes, please come and just fight for the glory of Azure. Win or lose, it's all about the fun. And sometimes you get in the arena and you're like, oh man, this is actually pretty cool, or terrifying. You decide. But there's a prize pot, actually. Currently, I think we are at 10. I believe we're at 10 right now, mil, for the tournament victor. So the victor walks away with the 10 mil, plus a very special item worth, currently, its value is around 22 million right now. It is a Pilgrim's Protector's Horn. It is a rare mount from Pilgrim's Traverse. The latest deep dungeon that came out a couple months ago. So thanks to Kanin, who donated it and set it as a bounty on Vidario, hoping that, folks would claw their way up and fight for that bounty. He now has a 32 million gil bounty on his head. And it'll be interesting to see if that gets claimed tomorrow or if it's going to be a few more months. The Pilgrim's Horn is currently sitting in our prize tab 4 of the FC chest. That's where all the prize donations go. And it's waiting for someone to claim it. So that'll be interesting. And like I said, the tournament victor, whoever wins the tournament, they get the title shot against Vid. But as long as they win the tournament, they walk away with the prize pot and the special prize. So we're really looking forward to seeing that. This is going to be good. I know the last couple times we have seen a number of very awesome challengers. Let me see here. Yeah, for some reason on one computer, Champions page is broken, and on the other computer, it's not. That is a great mystery. Why is that not showing? Technical errors always love to show up in these times. So it was March 30th, actually, that Vidario claimed his championship. That's March 30th last year, 2025. And I believe he had won the tournament twice prior, and then finally won the championship. That's pretty awesome. I don't remember if those were. I don't think those weren't right before. I think they were spread out a little bit. It's been with us about 6 years. Our champ just went in, knocked it out, became the #1 contender to previous champ, Scout Rocco Rakesh. Rocco eventually relinquished the title, actually, upon taking a break from the game for a very long time. I think he's still on that break, leaving it up for grabs as the grand prize of the champion match of Duel Tournament 26 back then. That was quite a few ago. That vacant championship was up for grab. Vid claimed it, fought his way to the top. It was some pretty good matches. I think the prize pool was also pretty big back then. The prize pot was 21 mil. So, that's pretty good. It was quite an explosive tournament, though. We had a member named Levy Scarlett that actually had fought Vid, I think, 3 different times in the finals, which is wild. So it's very, very close to winning it. And there were amazing matches, both of them amazing competitors, very fun to watch, solid fights. And this is something that's not instanced, so all you got to do is be in the Wolf's Den. You can actually join the audience and just watch the fights. And, sometimes it's pretty, exhilarating, and you get some folks that have just the right job combinations and skill, to hang in there for a while. So it's a lot of fun. Seeing people cheer and, kind of getting enough folks there to have that crowd feel to it. And the Discord, of course, as a VC, it can be a lot of fun. We do little sound effects, sometimes the ring bell at the beginning of the match, just a few in moderation. But yeah, Vidario's win actually made him the 2nd champion since 2020, and the fourth champion sorry, I meant to say the second champion during what we call the NLE era of Azure, the Novus Lux Eternum era. That's the current era that we're in. We name our eras based off of significant milestones in our history. So 2020 was when we began what we called the Resurgence Caruleum campaign, or Rising of the Azure Sky, which is a really big overhaul to our community. And then following that, that had its years, and we got to kind of this new era. So Novus Lux is New Light. So just a very, very awesome new page that we kind of turned back in 2024, looking towards the future with a new overhaul project that we started back then, which we actually completed within a year. And then we had new champs, and Vidario has hung in there now for a year. Originally, his first nickname, I think his nickname was given to him by Rakvasha, calling him the Council Killer, because he was known for just knocking out and slaying council members in the tournament. And then, his crowd favorite nickname is Superstario. It rhymes with his name very well. So, but it's very aptly named for eliminating Azure leadership in previous tournaments. But as champ, Vid's got a goal to break that streak. So, but he's always promoting good sportsmanship and mentoring during our Super Azure Slayer Sunday events as well, and in between. His catchphrase is "Meet me at the den." Meet me at the den. And we will see tomorrow. We'll see what happens. All right, so we have a really interesting, unique, and kind of big announcement next. And before we get to that point, I'm going to go ahead and say, how about a raffle? How about we do a raffle? We got a couple prizes here from our Azure prize pool. The way we do this is those who are watching on Twitch, you can put in a three-digit number. Sorry, I didn't mean to pause there for a second. I just was reading a comment. Three-digit number, any number between 000 and 999. If you are in game here, you can do /random anytime. And if you are listening only in the Discord, you are welcome to use Grand Assembly VC chat to put in a three-digit number between 000 and 999. In a moment, I'll call time, and I'll roll the dice, and the number that is closest to my random roll wins the prize. The first raffle prize of the assembly today. Oh, I like that darn. Diamond Dust Dynasty. That also sounds like a wrestling stable, like a team of wrestlers. We've got Superstario versus the Diamond Dust Dynasty. It sounds good. I can already see the promo for it. Okay, numbers are coming in across the board. Remember, hi Kieran. Yes, I see you on Twitch there. Anybody on Twitch watching there? We got 9 folks over there. If you would like to enter from Twitch, you can put a three-digit number in. You do need to be, I can't see who all the 9 are, but you do need to be an active subscriber to 14 and part of our community to claim the prize. Hey, Ultra, I see you there. Thanks for joining us. Looks like we're somewhere close to that time, almost. Going to give a few more seconds in case anybody hasn't rolled or submitted a number yet. You got a few there in Discord chat. Couple more seconds here. Some good stuff. There's some good stuff in there. We've always got some good stuff. Who's been grinding MGP at the Gold Saucer? Seen a few folks get on that like immediately. All right, very nice. Okay, well, we will have a couple more. There's 3 total raffles, so I'm going to go ahead and call time. Time. Okay. All right, and number closest to this roll wins a prize. Well, the first prize. 743. 743. Let's see here. Checking our chats. 743. Any 700s? Let me take a look at the expanded version here. 703 is yeah, that's 40 away. There is a 746. 746 is 3 away. That's right there. Yeah. I don't think there's anything closer than that. No. Not at any of our channels. I'm looking at 3 screens right now. All right. Congrats, Kikucho. Okay, where you at? There you are. All right. Congratulations. All right, first prize, Kikucho gets a Caprino minion. That is the brand new little baby goat from the newest dungeon. Congratulations. All right, and remember there will be two more raffles. It's a cute little minion. My first run on patch morning, I got it immediately. I seem to have a knack for doing that. I remember when the Red Panda was like super sought after from the Airy, and I did the same thing. I had a member that did like 450 runs of it or something, and I went in with them and just grabbed it. They were very lively that day, to say the least. All right, I have a big note to pull up. 1 second. Here we go. There it is. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is going to be fun to explain. Okay, so hear me out, guys. After long consideration, a lot of planning, and observation of Azure's current and future needs, I'm announcing the development of our official Azure Infinitum Overflow free company on Midgard-Stormer, and the introduction of what will formerly be known community-wide as Azure Infinitum chapters. So this is a major structural step for us. It's one that I have intentionally delayed for a very long time. Historically, and I'll explain why. Historically, I've been cautious about creating additional FC structures, or FCs themselves, due to concerns regarding what communities often experience as what I call, and what others may call, fracturing. That is where secondary groups slowly drift into separate identities, cultures, social spheres, detached from the main body. I am sure there's a lot of questions, and I am about to answer probably a lot of them, so bear with me. I did not, nor do I ever want Azure to become divided, diluted, or disconnected from itself, and I intend to keep an iron grip on this project. After years of growth, however, a lot of operational experience, technological improvements that has been to the game, or other things, other applications and things, or maybe my own setup as well, being able to monitor multiple things at one time. These have kind of all added to the ability to do this. The increasingly disciplined routines that are maintained, my own and others as well, what we maintain as a team across Discord, how organized we've become and continue to, evolve, and the in-game systems, logs, chats, and events and leadership structures that we have that didn't exist in the past to this magnitude. I believe that we are now capable of managing this correctly and responsibly. So I also believe that we have already proven that capability through current operations. As some know, we have the Infinitum Reserve Core, which has actually had some pretty nice results. That is the not too long ago we announced this. This was the FC on Maduin server with the XP bonus. Folks that cannot transfer here, that have nowhere else to go, or want to put a character there to play on or to be in until Midgard opens up, because this is going to be a consistent, reoccurring thing of the server opening and closing, even with what they talked about, where cross-world party finder is going to somehow alleviate that, and that's mostly going to be because people aren't going to feel forced to be on Ether anymore for the best queues. However, that is going to take time. That's going to take a lot of time, if not probably I'm just guessing an expansion or two to where the servers actually equal out enough to where this remains open enough for people. And even then, there could be future explosions in popularity where Ether again gets filled. And as a longtime resident of Ether, I know, the whole time, since the very first day it went online, Realm Reborn launch, Ether's always been popular. And especially since, the raid scene exploded, pretty much after Heaven's Word, more than ever before. People still, even though they didn't have to be here, they still wanted to be here. It just kind of became known. Kind of like there's other places that are known for things like this. This is very known. This data center is very known for raiding, even if there's open spots. So I think it's a very smart idea to prepare for what happens if the Reserve Core link shell, it doesn't have buffs, it doesn't have gardens or stables or things like that, or connected to chats that we announce things in, except for the link shell, of course, or other communications. But what happens if folks do come over and there's not enough room in the FC, because the FC's popping and it's always getting new recruits, and of course we don't want to stop recruitment. Well, we have an option until they can apply to the main FC. That's one very helpful thing. There's many other helpful things, and I'm about to explain what they all are and why we want to do this and how we're going to do it the right way. So, as such, moving forward, should a roster ever reach capacity and there be need for additional managed roster, that additional roster will be officially designated as an Azure Infinitum chapter. So if Chapter 2, as we're calling it, ever fills, then we could have a Chapter 3. And so on and so forth. But I don't see us getting to that point. For a long time, at least. I think it's safe to make sure that Chapter 2 is well oiled and doing well. So let's talk about some important clarifications. This is going to be a major topic during Phase 2, so this is going to be a big load of information here. Afterwards, I'm going to release this information online. You guys can look at how we're organizing this. I have a whole really cool thing set up to post. So important clarifications. Chapter 2 is not intended to become a separate identity whatsoever. Azure Infinitum remains one united community under one leadership structure, one culture, one vision. Chapter 2 exists to support overflow, accessibility, growth, and logistics, and long-term flexibility. So this means that membership movement is not intended to go from 1 to 2. We don't wish to see people go from our main FC to Chapter 2. If there's people who join Chapter 2 and they want to stay there without joining 1, so be it. But the integrity and the strength and the organization of 1, or the main FC as we call it, will always be the most important thing. Now, that's not to take away from Chapter 2, and that's, it's just that we don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot in the process by having too much movement go from one to the other, or lose the strength of how many eyes and ears we have on things, or how many people chat, things like that. So there's a lot to consider here, but that's why we want to start with having it as this extra optional roster and not something that we're going to spread out evenly into. We're not going to do that. Movement from Chapter 2 to Chapter 1 is what we will encourage the most whenever openings become available. And we'll say, put in your application. If you see your application I mean, sorry, if you see a spot on the roster open and you've applied, or let us know, like, then you can get in. And there will be people joining too that are going to want to be in one, because most do want to be in a very active, lively environment with a lot of folks around. That's one of the biggest perks of Azure, is that we have a very active chat and a lot of helpful people, and a lot of people who will actually take the time out to run stuff with you, and leaders that are actually around and doing things and hands-on and friendly. So we have a wonderful setup here. And, this is something we've worked on over the years to get better and better and better and better and better at. And we don't want to take away from that at all. So there's more. Applications to the primary FC will always remain welcome, and they're always going to be prioritized. However, it's not like we're not going to be able to see what's going on over there, and I'll explain how that's going to work. So the development of this brings several major advantages. Those advantages are the following. As I said earlier, this provides Midgard-Stormer roster availability for IRSVC or Infinitum Reserve Corps and incoming members during the roster congestion. So server congestion, server and roster congestion, I have noted here. So when, like I said, again, the server can't accept new people, but new people are already on the server, and then of course, need something to join, and then the FC is full. What do we do then? We have Chapter 2. This will grant access to FC benefits otherwise unavailable through the Crossworld Link Shell. FC buffs, company chest, free use of gardens, stables, housing utilities, shared infrastructure, allows for additional member integration into our Mistward community. That sounds like it's close by. I wonder which plot. This expands our operational flexibility for future growth. It helps support members with multiple active characters. Does that sound like a update to the alt policy? I'll mention that in a second. Creates additional accessibility without compromising any of the integrity of Chapter 1. So how are we going to have communication between two FCs? Well, first off, the plot for Chapter 2 of Azure Infinitum is none other in the same word and it is Plot 9. Plot 9. So if you walk outside our hall and you see Jadan's house, which is that first one you see, you walk out, it looks very similar to the FC hall. Next to that is Chapter 2. It's actually been there for a few days, and not many people have walked over there and noticed it. But it's there. That's Chapter 2, which means any Chapter 2 members can literally walk outside their FC hall and come into this FC's hall's lawn for grouping. Very convenient. Very, very, very convenient. So it is extremely close to Infinitum Hall. It is located right behind Jadan's house. It is next to the market board that's outside of it with a retainer bell. And it's also close to our main market board and retainer bell as well. And I imagine there's going to be people, kind of running between plots, and a lot of folks coming over to, plot 1, which is the happening spot, of course. And it is a small, although I've really, really overdone it over there with facilities and everything that could possibly be needed while still making it nice. It actually looks like a mini version of the current building that we're in right now in 14. So Infinitum Hall Mini. But as far as communication goes, so we have proximity. It's very close. It's very convenient. People can walk outside and come to grouping. Discord will remain primary unified communication hub. That's a given. That's for all of Azure, even our wings. Link shells and Crossworld link shell infrastructure will continue to heavily tie in. So the thing is that we're not only going to, tell them, hey, you should really join Discord because it's extremely useful. There's a lot of cool chats, and it's great to communicate when we can't technically see your FC chat, except for those that might actually have a character logged in. When you have multiple computers and you're able to do that, if you're able to dual box, which, again, to reassure you all, I will always have someone online here next to where I play Reika. There will also be another character that will also be in Chapter 2, managing chat, watching it, logging it, dumping that log at the end of the day in case it's needed, and keeping an eye on it. And just making sure that it's a safe experience, that if anybody needs anything or asks for anything over there, that I actually have a hand on that all day long, 24/7, as long as I'm not asleep, of course. we also have many other people. There's currently 20 characters already in Chapter 2. So some of those are characters that are alts of veterans who are like replaying the game on them, having fun over there, building up credits, etc. So that's already going. This is a functioning thing that's already happening. But for Chapter 2, we will be more heavily suggesting Discord and link shells because it's more helpful. It's more avenues of communication. So the nice thing is that I've recently practiced doing the event ads that we have that go out an hour beforehand, and doing those in the Crossworld, the Chapter 2 link shell that's brand new, and the main FC. So no matter where you're at, you're going to see, even in Discord, you get the ping if you've subscribed to event roles. So there's like 4 different avenues of being able to find out when the events are, and then everybody still gathers at the same plot, like normal. So it's really unified and totally cohesive in that manner. The Chapter 2 link shell, which we eventually might need more than one of, that has 128 slots. I don't think that's going to fill super fast. Is intended mostly for Chapter 2 people. However, we do need a number of like really active like members and scouts and up to join it. A lot already have. We just haven't told any members about this yet. This is brand new. All scouts and council know about this. Unless they haven't attended a meeting or missed a note or something. So yeah, if you're a member and you're like, chatty and you want to keep up with both FCs, you're welcome to join it. There's no pressure for anybody actually to join it. We're not even asking support and leadership as a must. It's totally optional. This is something that's very extra. It's very helpful, but it's also optional because we don't want anybody to get burnt out. So that being said, again, events will naturally unify members. The tags are the same. The only thing that's different is that when you examine a Chapter 2 member, like the one sitting here next to Johnny, that's the official leader character of Chapter 2. Then you'll see it says Azure Infinitum Chapter 2. Now, okay, I got to point something out, and I know some of you probably have already noticed this. We have a typo in the name. Thank you, Terry. Yes, I had to call him out. I got to give him crap for it. For like 20 more days, because it won't let us change it, it's Azure Infinitum. And I think we could all laugh about that because it's silly, but it's going to be changed, of course, in case there's any questions. Of course, we're not going to leave it like that. So that's Chapter 2 there. Again, plot 9. If you know anybody that wants to join and we're kept, plot 9 is the place to go for application, or you can always let us know for a direct invite. Joining it works the same way. Infinitum, yeah. Infinitum. You gotta be able to laugh at the little stuff like that. So again, Chapter 2 members will be very close by. I think with what we've seen with the Reserve Corps, we've already got, I mean, if you visit the FC Hall for any amount of time, you see Reserve Corps members hanging out like all the time. And it's awesome, actually. Before the server opened back in March, we actually had a whole another bunch of people that actually finally got in, like Yami, Aslan, a whole list goes on. I think Zayla was one as well. There was a whole bunch that came in. Oni, that was another one. Yeah, so there was a whole bunch that came in through the very early days of the Reserve Corps. And now we actually have, Chapter 2 for those on Midgard, and then we still have the Reserve Corps stuff for those who are off-world as well. So we're covering all the bases here. But again, the point is to continue to monitor it well, so it's not, left alone. So it's, if there's something that happens there that we need to see, like we're not going to be in the dark. Buff schedule will be exactly the same in both FCs. Company chest will have basic amenities, some Thavnarian onions, of course, which is a new thing that we're doing. If you've seen the announcement, Thavnarian onions are available for our members to grab anytime from the tab 1 of the FC chest now. No longer doing the whole 2 thing a week allowance. We did that for a long time because they were up to 400k a piece, and we have like 1,000 of these things. So if not more than that, because Terry's been growing them for an ungodly amount of time since Shadowbringers. So I think he's earned a little rest from the onion farming. I think he's taking a little break from onions for right now. I think it's I can't only imagine now, like 6 years of onion farming. It would drive me crazy. He's a real trooper. He's a machine when it comes to farming. So we've got tons of them. They're not worth as much, but it's still 100K. And, you know, why can't we provide that for our members, right? So we're putting 20 at a time. That way, if, you know, a recruit that's brand new comes in, oh, what's this? Takes the whole stack, you know. 20 is not that bad to lose. We can, 2 mil of onions, we can replace immediately. That's not a big deal. But we really want to ask that you take 1 at a time as needed. That way, you know, that there's enough, you know, we don't have to refresh them like constantly. And this is for members who are still leveling their chocobos. You use an onion after level 10 for each level after 10 up to 20. And then you can have a nice bird. Who doesn't want a nice, you know, fully leveled buff chocobo to go into Evercold with and just smash the single player content, the fates, the, you know, tribe quests. I mean, yeah, it's good to have. I mean, some people look down on the chocobo system, and I think, oh, why not have an extra, you know, little boost there? I'm sad that they did not update it any further. It sounded like they were talking about doing an update, and that update ended up just being an emote when you poke it. So, yeah. But hey, the Avenarian onions, there's a lot of them in the chest, and they're very good to have. Kind of got... Yeah, someone just forgot they even had... Kieran forgot he even had a chocobo. No, really though, you know what's funny? If you're a summoner and you got a chocobo, you're like a 3-person party right there. So, I mean, hey, you never know. You're leveling a lower level job, and you want something that's got your back that can throw, you know, a crappy cure and smack something with its talons next to you while you duel a level 1 mushroom. Hey, it's great. It's good to have. So you bond with your chocobo. Okay, we're getting derailed here. All right, so back to chapter 2. Yes, so these routines, the routines for doing buffs, schedules, and checking, you know, facilities and just all that stuff, it's all in a very strict routine. Terry and I, our General Terry, you may not see him all the time due to his busy schedule, but he does something every day for Azure. He's doing something in the background all the time, whether it's helping with the submarines or getting new parts ready or, you know, distributing repair kits and all kinds of stuff. You know, like the onions, that was one of them for a long time. He's always doing something. So between me and him and my normal schedule, and if there is anybody of rank over there that wants to update a buff, if, you know, there's an off day for me or something like that, we're going to have it handled. I got a lot of alarms set up for this and everything to make sure that both FCs are, you know, perfectly uniform in schedule, buffs, everything. So it's really not going to be that hard. It's just a matter of making sure that, you know, we keep an eye on chat. And of course, we're expecting Chapter 2 members to also use proper communication channels and reach out if they also need something as well. And hopefully join VC and hang out with us, you know, chat in the Discord as any other member would. Think of it as an extended roster because Square Enix will not increase the FC cap, unfortunately. I know that some communities or some people might consider 500 huge and like humongous and unimaginably large. And to me, there are other games where it's good to have about 1,000 people because of the ratio. They're not all on at the same time. It's a percentage, right? So I really wish they'd increase it to 1,000. I think that'd be nice. And then we could have 2,000. So I have a handful of alts there that I check daily. They do turn-ins, and it's part of my whole retainer army thing. For those that, you know, have heard about that, I run about 56 characters with about 560 retainers, and I'm on a very strict schedule every morning for about 120 minutes. I've got it down to 2 hours where I check them, deliver goods, you know, to different estates, and farm venture coffers for the FC. That's how we made 60 mil in a couple weeks just recently. That's how we do big prizes for Azure Day weekends and stuff like that, on top of the nice submarine stuff that me and Terry do together here at the FC Hall. It's very helpful. So thank you. I want to say a big thanks on that regard real quick before I finish the Chapter 2 stuff. Big thanks to Leafit for providing a huge number of repair kits That was super needed. It came through with that really fast, and we burn through those with what we do. We send out our subs, every day here at the hall. So very, 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 very helpful. But again, to see Mist come alive even more with Chapter 2, like I said, we've already see our visitors from Reserve Corps and active Azure members hanging around the hall. And again, this also opens up opportunity to have more space. And because Chapter 2 is nowhere near, like, it's 20 members or 20 characters in so far. And so far, those are all alts. We haven't gotten to the point yet where we've been at 512 again. We keep bouncing around, like, 501, 55, 510, 512, and then we go back down again because somebody goes MIA, and surpasses the inactivity policy and gets removed, or somebody leaves or something like that. So, but there's been very many times recently that ratio that we're climbing and staying higher and higher and higher is going up and up and up. And when there's a new expansion in this game, we get a ton of applications because we're top in the rankings. So we're literally top of Midgard-Stormer. We remained there a very long time, not counting boosters. I don't count them. Oh, we didn't mention the rankings. Wow, that's a first. We didn't mention we usually mention the rankings around the new recruits. I was so excited to talk about Chapter 2. but let's finish here before we get too derailed again. So I am updating the alt policy that we recently updated. We had inactivity and alt policy updates recent updated. And as it currently stands in our main FC, it is one main, or if you have two mains, that's fine, but two characters, one main, one alt, as we call it. And alts that are characters, you're not playing it like a main, and it's very much an alt. We look at 30 days of inactivity. It needs to be used within a month. If it's not getting used in a whole month, then we will remove it. If it's logging in, it doesn't matter what level it is. If it's level 1, you just use it for whatever, and you like having it in the FC. Hopefully, you're using it for, for something. But if you have a level 1 character or a low level character, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you haven't cleared, ARR or whatever. As long as you're using it, it's logged in once a month at least. And that's one main, one alt. So that will work for Chapter 2 as well. 2 characters. That means that each member here can have up to 4 characters in an Azure Infinitum, in 2 apiece in the FC. So you can have 4 characters in Azure, and you can have 2 per FC. So we know that there's members who have said, like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I've got 3 characters and only 2 are in the FC, and the other one doesn't have an easy teleport to the FC ward, or they don't have a teleport to a hall that's close to a market board. Well, join Chapter 2. If you have a 3rd character, and or if you have 1 character in Azure and an alt that you want to put in Chapter 2, that's fine as well. It can be 1 and 1, or it can be 2 and 2, or 2 here and 1 over there. Whatever combination, as long as your mainest of mains is in the main FC, that's fine. So that's going to be updated and reflect in the rules. I didn't want to update the rules before announcing this because they're not, it's not there yet, but it's going to be after this. That's 2 and 1 and 2 and 2. So 4 total overall. And I know that it's very handy to folks that, have it, at least a few characters, whether they're on the same account or you multi-box or what. Very handy, very, very handy. So all of this combined is a new frontier for us. Obviously, we don't want it to be looked at as only the waiting room for the main FC. I do plan on doing a little bit of a recruitment push to try and help develop the chat's like ecosystem, sort of. So there's some activity, at least a little bit, to start with over there, so that when people who are like brand new and join over there don't feel like it's totally empty. I mean, you're going to have folks that really enjoy having a smaller group as well too. Everybody has different preferences. So, and again, like I said, we could have folks that join 2 that like to stay in 2. But this is going to also expand the possibilities that we have for grouping, attendance, and everything. And, and I'm sure that I'm sure it'll be very exciting as it grows. So starting it now on the road to Evercold, and then having all that preparation in place and all of these opportunities and the perks of having it there. Very nice. It's very, very nice. So I don't think this will be hard to manage, especially like I said, there's eyes on both FCs at all times. So yeah, I hope that you guys like that announcement and aren't too worried. If you have any questions about this or anything I didn't answer during this segment of the assembly, please feel free to talk to us in Q&A here after phase 3 of the announcements. You can also send a DM or, express however you feel about it in VC. We don't want anybody to feel like this is us taking on like too much or taking away from one FC or the other. This is very finely handled and one step at a time as well. And if it were ever to seem like it was just, starting to become, too much, then we would probably back out of it. But I don't think it's going to get that way. I think we can handle this pretty well, especially the amount of folks that we have who have alts there that play them. Again, my second, one of my screens, one of my mini screens as another character, there's all these things that help us keep an eye on stuff. So the only thing missing, is that chapter 2 and chapter 1, or main FC and chapter 2 can't see each other's regular FC chats, but there's everything else. There's the people in the link shells, there's the Discord stuff and everything. So it should be fine. And the thing that ultimately does matter most to us in terms of communications is that leadership and support can still see what's going on. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Okay, that was a lot. That was a lot of information. And I hope that you guys are excited about chapter 2 and this new frontier as much as I and the council are. I know a lot of scouts were pretty excited about it too when we had our scout meeting last weekend. And let's see here. So before we do our next raffle and go to our final phase of this assembly, we have a couple more things here. Weekly event statuses I wanted to talk about real quick. As you know, we have events every day. Some days we actually have multiple events booked, not just in 14, but also in other places as well. On Sunday, over in Star Citizen, that is a very, very cool space sim. We do Frontier Sundays. Basically, it's a lot of just hanging out, learning, exploration. Sometimes we do mining. Sometimes, we'll just do missions as an organization. That's what they call them there. Clans/guilds organizations. We do that. That is actually not too long after we start Super Azure Slayer Sunday PvP here in 14. Again, that's where our champ attends and hosts and mentors while doing frontlines and crystalline conflict here in 14. I think that's been really popular, especially because we're in a new PvP season here in 14. That began just, a month and a half ago, roughly, I think, because we were on week 5 of raids. So yeah, about a month and a half ago, the new season. If you go to PvP profile in your character menu, you scroll down, you'll see a button that says Series Malmstones on the PvP profile window. And if you don't know about those, that is your rewards track, the quote-unquote battle pass of PvP here in 14, that leads to a lot of cool stuff. There's mounts, there's minions, there's framers kits, there's all kinds of stuff. Sometimes there's glamour. 1 month there's glamour at the end, and 1 month there's a mount at the end. They always go back and forth. But even if you don't feel confident about PvP or the letters PvP scare you, just know that when we do those events, anybody level 30, so this is great for lower level members, level 30 and up can join. If you don't have it unlocked, it's a very quick unlock. Just go to Wolves Den. But this is something that lower levels can join in, and we do it as a group. So we're not fighting each other. And typically there's call outs for, which thing we're running to claim, and which base or which thing, etc. So it might be a little different than you think. And if you have people who actually care to explain this stuff to you while you're attending it, it makes it way more enjoyable to know what's going on. And then you realize that it's not too much different than, the usual content in the game. You're smacking other players, but as a team, it's a lot more fun. So, so we encourage people to come to that. like trying to push it like we're a huge PvP guild, but we have that event on Sunday that's very beneficial to those that want to get those rewards, because you only have a patch to get those, and then when the next patch comes out, it goes away. And there are some rewards that come back in the future, but they take a really long time. They allow it to be exclusive to people who got them, for a number of years, like a few years sometimes. And so you might go, oh man, I really wanted that, that Allegan ADS mount that looks like a watermelon, but I got to wait like 3 years for it to come out, So it's fun. And the other thing too is you can actually use it for EXP, believe it or not. You can go in on a class that you want to level. You can switch once you get inside there and still finish the fight and get the EXP for the class you originally queued on. And the first time you do it, especially, is a huge bonus. It's almost like a second leveling roulette. So just some helpful tips for you guys. Last Super Azure Slayer Sunday, we had pretty good, solid attendance. Like I said, they're Frontlines and Crystalline Conflict, so they're actually groups of 4 and groups of 2, because you can do duos in Crystalline Conflict, and we do a countdown queue where we time it at the same time. We usually get in the same match together, and then of course for Frontlines, we're usually pretty good at getting the same thing together as well with the groups of 4. We do want to see more folks show up. I think if we get more and more groups, just having these bigger and bigger Azure groups during PvP is it's super fun. It's a lot more fun than you might have gone to the Frontline. You might have been like, oh man, Frontline, not fun. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm hitting. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. But again, with Azure, it's a whole different experience. So give it a shot. Come along on Sundays. Monstrous Mondays. Now that recently had a big update. We had the big Enuo fight. That's the current trial, Enuo Extreme, or the Unmaking Extreme. That's been going very well. There's been some very good results from our learning parties. Our excellent host, Coco, who is a council lead for that event, and those who have helped support him as well, have been really amazing at just being, resourceful and knowledgeable and helping other people learn, being patient. I want to thank everybody that's attended Mon, as we call it, Monstrous Mondays, because during Mon, it's, this stuff that's only been out for a few weeks. And, there's some folks that might go a little crazy and run it 400 times, but other folks, are still just trying to get that first clear. And it means a lot to our members to be able to walk into a kind of non-judgmental space and be able to learn a fight that's a current fight. And it feels really good to clear that, right? Because you did something that's current, that's actually kind of challenging. And, we've been really good at this for some years now about doing current trials the moment they're available, and then running them for a number of, a couple months, as much as possible. But here's the question. Just like with PvP, well, when's the next patch? Not the next sub patch, the next patch. The next patch is actually Evercold, and that's in January. So that PvP season is going to last longer than ever. And what about stuff like Mon? What do we do when we're 7 months down the road and totally exhausted of the current extreme? Well, I guess this is a good time to announce, even though it's not happening right away, after we see a significant number of clears and regularly occurring clears for a number, maybe we'll see how things look after like week 8 or something, maybe at the end of month 2 or somewhere in month 3. And we'll consider actually going back to the older Dawn Trail extremes and rotating them. So Mon will soon become a rotating extreme until we get to Evercold, but not until we've spent more time with Enuo. We got to spend some more time with our buddy in the Void, smack him around a little bit more, grab his wings, take him for all of his, loot drops and stuff like that for a while, and then get more people to learn it who want to learn it. But this is a good heads up too, because if you want to learn this, you want to come to this soon, because we're going to be rotating it. Now, it doesn't mean we won't see Enuo again down the road, but this is something that we do for 2 years, 2.5 years at a time for each expansion. So there were extremes like maybe Sphene Extreme, that's kind of one of the hardest ones, that you might not have gotten with us or had anybody to teach it to you back when that was out. Maybe you weren't even in Dawn Trail when that was out. So going back to that is actually going to be nice for everybody who either just got to Dawn Trail or wants to do that with the FC, or maybe you've already done it and you just want to come help, or maybe you want to get the wings, and you never know if there's a clear, which there most likely will be now that we're geared and stronger. Great opportunity to get those wings as well, and they all look great. All the wings are really cool. The final wings came out; they're like those Seraph wings, so very, very nice opportunity. So rotating Mon in the near future. We might get to the next assembly though before that starts to happen, but it's a good heads up now that it's a good time to to come back to NOO or keep going in NOO or join NOO for the first time before that happens. But I think within 6.5 months, I think within 6 to 6.5 months, we'll at least go around a couple times through the EX trials. So that'll also kind of keep it fresh too, and not drive our hosts crazy as well. So that's fun. Azure 24-man Tuesdays, very awesome results. Week 1 was rough. That was rough. It always is. We're all brand new to it, and a lot of us go in blind, and it's a lot of fun, but it's a little bit rough. And that first week, we did not open the PF right away. We kind of waited until the hour. That kind of caused a little bit of a delay. Sometimes we like to, give it the first 5 to 10 minutes to let everybody get in while it's locked, making sure our members get in. Who are on time, and then we open it in case it doesn't fill. And once in a while it doesn't fill. So that was a little rough on week 1. We also had some folks that were still unlocking, and even though we ask that you come with unlocks, we don't typically mind it if you've already started the raid series and just need to get the next one, because the next one doesn't usually take that long, except for three. Winders kind of takes a little bit, but it's okay. We just want to make sure you're there. So if you're there and you've already done Juno, great. We'll figure that out. But hopefully, we get more folks that show up that already have the content unlocked, so we can queue up and go. It's not a long or hard unlock as long as you've gotten to that point in the story and you can get that. It'd be very, very helpful to us, so that way we're not unlocking at this after grouping ends and then we got to wait longer. So but week 2 on, fantastic, especially that second week. We really knocked it out of the park. All 3 raids. So if anybody's here that you're newer, you don't know what I'm talking about, the Alliance raids of 24 mans, you get a coin each week, and you need all 3 coins from the trilogy of raids to get the best current upgrade. And right now that is the augmented Bygone Brass gear. That's what we're going into Evercold with. Chat's making me laugh. That's what we're going into Evercold with, and we're going to want as many of those pieces as possible. So you can also get the upgrade items from doing hunts. If you do Dawn Trail, I think it's Shadowbringer through Dawn Trail hunts, you get the nuts that you need to trade in. It's 2K or 2,000 for an accessory upgrade from 780 to 790. It's 3K for a body or armor upgrade from 780 to 790. And of course you get the once a week final coin. The 3rd coin's weekly, and then the other 2 you can farm as much as you want, but you just do the 1, 2, 3 with us each week and you're good, if you can make it. There's a lot of folks that can't make it, and we know that, and it's a once a week thing that's organized. It's a big flagship event of ours, but for those that can do that, we want to see you there. So attendance has been great. There's been several weeks where we've capped out just Azure. A couple times we've needed a pug or 2. Nothing too horrendous has happened with that. So good stuff there. That will be running for the foreseeable future, at least through September. So even if we get to the point where we don't have 3 full groups down the road, we'll do what we do towards the end of a patch when there's a 24-man out, and we'll get 2 groups that countdown queue together. And if they get in, they get in together. If they don't, they don't. I think that what's more detrimental is if we wait too long to go in. That's more detrimental than not making it in together. But right now, Party Finder is still working really well, and that's the best way we can group an alliance. It's actually the only way we can group an alliance. We once tried to group alliances back in the day with the old alliance system, and we were successful at it, but you had to actually stand in front of each other and press join alliance. That was the old alliance system, or the leaders did, the leaders of each party. And when we did that in Myst, I don't think the developers knew that there would be an FC that would have a full pre-made alliance ready to go in Mist, and it crashed Mist and logged everybody in Mist out when we did it. So we had to move it to a more stable zone like Limsa to group, which was interesting back in the day, but just a fun fact. And Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, that would be Wondrous Wednesdays, Treasure Thursdays, and Friday Night Treasure Fights. Those all have the same rewards. They have upgraded rewards since the last patch, if you haven't done them since then. Those will continue to maintain and be the same all the way through just prior to Evercold. And just prior to expansions, we do actually take a couple weeks break from events, and kind of just gives everybody a chance to chill a little bit. I don't know about this time. This is like just before Endwalker. Activity was popping so much that we almost didn't take any breaks, and people were still demanding, stuff to do. So different expansions have been different. Sometimes it's like near dead because everybody's playing other video games, knowing that they're going to live in front of 14 during the expansion for a while. And so, but typically at least 1 week before Evercold, we'll have that break up from events. So everything I'm naming here, except for how Mon will change a little bit, everything else will be going, for quite a long time. Like I said, September is the Beastmaster update. That's when we'll kind of gauge and see how 24-Man Tuesdays is doing by that point. It could be still popping. It could be like totally dead by then. I don't know. We'll see. Usually 24-mans have a good 3-4 months run in them with our events. And after that, like 12th to 16th week, they're, people are worn out of it. So, but again, those coins are going to continue to be extremely useful because that's the final gear upgrade for everybody. And you're getting the same items that Savage people did last patch, except for the weapon until that's unlocked in September. So should be unlocked in September. The 5-6 patch is usually when that unlocks. So moving on, our Mega Mountathon, just a heads up that we are at that point now in the expansion where there's only 6 months left of Mega Mountathon, and Savage Saturdays won't change much. That might actually get easier to do Pandemonium as we go forward, but our Mega Mountathon will stop running Endwalker Lynxes come probably late December. So that means with 2 of those mount farms a month, that's only about 10 to 12 more Mega Mountathon events before we're done with Endwalker forever. So, because we always do the previous expansion. So come January, Mega Mountathon, when it returns, we'll start farming wings. But we're not there yet. This is just a heads up that, if you want to do attend Mount Farms and get your Lynxes while the FC's doing it, it's a good time to start coming along every first and third Saturday in the afternoons. Well, 3 p.m. Pacific, my time. That's 6 p.m. EST, if you're available. That late that night, we also go and we get everybody's Eden and Omega Savage clears. So for mounts, and those are super easy. Do not be intimidated by the word Savage. Eden and Omega, very very easy, very very easy to do. You will no doubt get the mounts. They're not RNG. They're sure drops. So you'll walk away with a whole bunch. It's very awesome. Darn says, why do you need so many mounts? All you need is an umbrella. Maybe we'll start. Maybe instead of Diamond Dust Dynasty, we'll call you Mary Poppins. You guys see Guardians of the Galaxy 2, or he's like, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. I could see Darn doing that in the midst of chaos and explosions. Okay. All right. So that's the majority of our events, but I didn't want to leave out one special thing that happens on Mondays and Wednesdays. It's rather new here in Azure, and that's our Warframe clan. Our Warframe clan is actively recruiting. New ads went up on Reddit, and we're experimenting with some ways of making some banners to kind of help promote that a little bit more, and some screenshots and some cool stuff we're doing there. A lot of people do like that game, especially folks that might be coming from, a certain shooter that just recently announced it was over. we'll actually talk about that a little bit in the wing segment here in phase 3. But you know, there's a lot of opportunity to have a lot of fun in Warframe, and we've got people actively playing and hopping into VC for it. And you know, it's started a little small. I mean, we got about 26 people right now, a couple more that are joining us soon. You know, I want to also mention that we not only have Aslan Lacoria, our scout captain, who is a wing commander of Warframe, and now co-wing commander Vivian Nova, our latest scout captain. Congrats, Viv. Viv will be co-leading Warframe for Azure, along with Aslan, into the great expanse of space in the future. Very cool. And that's Mondays and Wednesdays. So it is pretty close to when Mon happens in 14. But we know that, you know, that because Mon's not like a casual raid thing or maps or something like that. It's going to be, you know, technical groups running specific challenging stuff, and there's going to be people who either don't do it or do other things or have already done it that might also play Warframe, and then that might be that perfect demographic. We picked Monday and Wednesdays for those because that's honestly where they fit the best right now, and also when hosts are available is another thing. That's another factor. You know, every once in a while questions do come up about like, why do we host certain things at certain times? And we know that we cannot possibly serve everyone, and it's you know, unfortunately it's a fact, but we try to pick like the primetime hours in between Pacific and Eastern the best we can. And we know that some things might be a little later or might be a little earlier, you know, for one person or another, but it's the very best that we can do. And the more hosts that we have available, it actually makes these things a little bit more possible as well. So, you know, the possibilities are endless, the more help that we have on board. And that starts with our, you know, our scouts, our assist, ASSIST, Azure Scout Squad Initiative Support Team. So, without further ado, you know, thank you to Aslan and Vivian for, you know, making this happen, and also those supporting them as well. You know, I've seen other scouts as well be involved with them. Thank you very much, you know, for all the support. Warframe's off the ground now, and we've even leveled up the clan recently. So, yeah, a lot of fun. Very fast-paced, free-to-play game. If you've never tried it before, you know, if you don't mind third-person shooters with some cool, it's more than shooting. It's a lot more. But you know, each unit is very unique and a lot of fun to play. It's very fast-paced. But now that basically means that we have three sets of game events going, with the majority in 14, as it, you know, will be. And we have something else I'll mention when we talk about the wings that recently came to an end, that we retired. So it would be 4, but it's 3. Star Citizen, Warframe, and Azure. Azure 14. I have a note here that says Azure F14 core, and I just said Azure, but yeah, 14 core as we call it, Warframe and Star Citizen. Okay, we've got a little bit more to talk about, just a little bit, I promise. And we've got 2 more raffles to do. So let's do our second raffle. We'll take a quick breather. I get to take a drink of water finally. And yeah, if you are on Twitch, please put in a 3-digit number, 0 to 999. If you are on Discord, feel free to put in the Discord Grand Assembly VC chat a number between 000999 as well, just like Twitch. And if you're in game, go ahead and /random. I see a lot of people are already doing that. That's perfect. And in a moment, I'll roll dice here with Reika, and we will see what the number closest to her roll is. Always good to have a gallon jug next to the computer. Water. It's not meant for anything else. It's not what you're thinking. Somebody sent me a tell, and I didn't do the cool thing on OBS to hide my chat, so you might want to send me a DM. I've got a tab that's just say and FC right now. All right, yeah, just a moment here, and we'll do the roll. Give everybody a chance to enter. Darn is drinking sweetened lime sparkling water. Okay, that sounds good. You know, there was you ever seen those machines that's like a soda dispenser? Not a soda dispenser. Well, yeah, soda dispenser technically, but it's, you know, it's meant for you to stick like a cup in and pour soda. And it's a touchscreen. It's like a touchscreen one where you can choose your drinks. I had an old buddy that he owns a restaurant, and he had one of those installed in his place. And they had a lime Fanta. I've never seen Fanta lime anywhere but that one. Never seen it before. It was so special that it was on the news. Like, the news came out and they were like, oh my God, Fanta Lime. Look at this machine. It's amazing. And then they had a whole like free drink day, and like all these people came in with like these massive like tankards and jugs. I was like filling them up. And I was like, man, I gotta try this Fanta Lime. That was a fun memory. That was about 13 years ago. I bet they probably got updated ones of those now. I just don't see them that often around here. I don't know. Oh, it was good. Totally, it was I would say it was a 9 out of 10 for sure. It was the only thing I got from his restaurant after that. Yeah, it was amazing. I did try combining it because I'm one of those weirdos that goes down all the sodas and combines them all into like one super horrible drink. So I tried that too. I tried that version. Ranch Fanta. Maybe that's the 10 out of, maybe that's 11 out of 10. I like where that's going. Yeah. Yeah, Aslan said he used to do that as a kid. I do that. I do that now. I do a lot of things now. I have tried ranch soda for sure. I have. It was a Valentine's Day gift actually, with a little ranchy heart full of chocolate, and it was weird. I took the cap off, and a strange fume like came out of it, and it tasted like Mr. Clean and feet. Yeah, no, I'm not into tasting feet. No, I know what feet taste like because I've tasted my own foot, and the reason for that is because as a kid I used to make dares on weird stuff that I would do to try to like earn things from people. So there was this Yu-Gi-Oh card that I wanted really bad, and I told my friend, "Hey man, if I lick my foot 300 times, will you give me that card?" And I walked out with a super rare. It was awesome. It was a hot day too, sweaty. I mean, anyway. No, I haven't tasted Mr. Clean. It's my imagination of what Mr. Clean tastes like. At least it was my toes, okay? At least it was mine. That's when I could still like bend my foot up to my head while standing. Can't do that anymore. Okay, let's go ahead and roll. let's go ahead and roll and see 506. All right, let's take a look. Okay, 506, 506. Who's closest to 506? We got a 465, we got a 525. 525 is pretty close. We got any higher 400s? Let's check Twitch. Checking. Discord doesn't look like it. I think it might be the 525, unless you guys are seeing something I'm not. One? Nope, it's not a one. That's not a one. That's 506 different ones. They combine like Voltron and make... Anyway, 525. Congrats, Ultra! All right, where are you at? Where are you at, Ultra? Well, Ultra's way back there. He's like, I got the cool post on the side. I can see. All right, Ultra, how about a brand new baby whale shark recently released in the latest patch? Junior Jinbei. Congrats. Congrats. Enjoy. So our final prize, oh, I can't talk today. Our final prize is a mount. Here in just a moment. Phase 3 won't be as long as Phase 2, promise. Okay, final announcements that we got here. For our little raffle intermission and feat discussion. Let's see. So, okay. So there will be a little bit about our Azure Wings here. And I know that, you know, there are folks that don't play these games. So, you know, I'm just going to make this kind of quick. I did also want to mention that our last assembly in April, we had a lot of stuff to go over. Like we had an insane amount of stuff, you know, not just with the new patch that came out, but even more. And we had a special generals, you know, induction ceremony and everything else. So I did talk a lot more over time last time. Like right now we're doing really well. We're actually under time. We're only an hour and a half in, but we were like closing in on 3 hours last time, and we had a lot of wing content to talk about as well. So this time, not very much. But the things that, you know, there are things that have to be said at these assemblies because these are community wide and actually get broadcasted to our other guilds. So, and then compiled into assembly cast at the end for everybody. So, as for current Azure Wing business, we are retiring the Azure Wardens clan in Destiny 2. Some may have seen my announcement and post on the website that I also announced in announcements chat a few days ago. Destiny 2 and Bungie have announced the end of content and support for Destiny 2. This means that after one more little update that's coming out soon, it's, you know, I see it as something small because the update that's coming June 9th is not the next season that we were basically told that we were going to have, which would have led up to the standard, you know, next expansion period and all that stuff. This was something that is basically just they're bringing back some old racing content, and they're adding in a bunch of loot drops, and, you know, kind of trying to make it a little fun on the way out for people who are really dedicated and still, you know, still have the morale to play this even though it's ending. It's going to be online. It's not like it's going offline, as long as Sony and Bungie can keep it online. It's not looking so good for them lately in the industry, but not to get into all that. It will remain online just like D1 has remained online. We are not disbanding the clan itself in the game. As an Azure Wing, however, that support will end. So events have come to an end for Azure Wardens, and you know, it'll be basically be there for people if they play together. You're in Azure and you wanted to group up with Destiny friends and do that kind of stuff there. You can still join the Destiny clan. I will still keep an eye on applications Thankfully, that's manageable from the phone. It's very nice. So I'll check apps, here and there. And if, you want to tell me, hey, I put in an app, that'll kind of expedite it and get me to go check it faster. But we're not doing any more events. And as a clan, as a wing, I mean, it has been retired. So, if you probably have already seen some of the channels for like news and things like that for it has stopped. The page has been removed from the website. There might be a couple banners floating around. I need to take those off soon. But, as of this past week, Azure Wardens has been retired. So if by some miracle and another decade of development happens to bring Destiny 3, then they'll be revived in D3. But, I did want to take the time here, since this was a 12-year-old clan, almost as much as Azure Infinitum here in 14. This is something I wanted to mention, for all of our Guardians out there and all of our Azure Wardens. I wanted to say thank you for supporting this. We had 100 people over there, maybe not all on at the same time, but most of them, regularly playing, here and there, and at least a big chunk that were still, doing stuff, and people that were coming to events. There was a time that our Destiny events were almost as big as our 14 stuff that we have going on. And, there was a lot of good memories in the past, old raid nights and, old expansion launches and excitement and things that we worked hard for, like we do here in 14, together. And, that portion of Azure mostly had people from the FC playing together, so it's not like we're having to say goodbye or anything. Of course, even when a wing or a guild ends, or even if somebody leaves a Azure guild, it doesn't mean that they have to leave the Discord. The Discord is global community for everybody. This is like, you could not be in any of our games and still be a community member in the Discord and chat about, games, anime, whatever you want to chat about, and still be a community Azure member. You don't have to be in an Azure guild or property to be a member here. You can be a member in the Discord and the website. But, of course, there were a few Destiny unique people who were only over there. They're still with us, of course, but it is sad to have to say goodbye in the way that we're having to kind of like accept that what we thought was coming isn't coming, and now it's over, basically. So I made the call, instead of trying to do some grand finale event for it. I made the call to go ahead and not disband the clan, but disband as a wing. So retire the wing. So, as some know, an Azure wing is more than just a clan in a game named after Azure. So we have a lot of clans, organizations, clans, guilds, whatever the games call them. There's a lot more of those made than what there are wings. There's, a good 7 wings, but there's like probably 30 clans out there. And the thing is that an Azure wing is when we, really fully support it. It becomes something that we recruit for, something that is a viable game that we know has clan systems or guild systems that are going to be viable for the future, backed by a company that's pretty stable, not going to go away overnight. Something that, releases generally like fairly, and by fairly, I mean not like Throne and Liberty, where the Korean servers had better RNG, literally. That was terrible. I'm glad we don't have that anymore. That was a headache wing. But anyway, this is what we look for Azure wings, for us to expand as a gaming community. And we still have plans for some of the smaller ones that may have not been worked on as much for a while, as other things kind of finalize and smooth out. Of course, 14 is our core, so there's going to be a lot, the most attention is going to always go to 14, and I always reassure our members in 14 that that's the way it will be. But we want to continue to see the Azure guilds in those wings continue to prosper. Azure wings get news updates throughout the week. They get feeds on our website and things like that. So they become like a living, interconnected thing in our network. And retiring Destiny is, it's actually kind of been sad for some of us. So, you might see some Destiny refugees floating around, a little down in the dumps about it, and but I am very thankful for what we had there. and it's the missing the routine. You know, it's the there's routines that are now gone that we're not going to be doing all the time, and you know, the weekly trip to Caesar and get excited and share, you know, with each other, you know, what the best deals are that weekend or whatever, and all kinds of just different stuff that we go do, and that's it. You know, that's a wrap. Sometimes it happens. You know, we've seen 2 or 3 other wings close down when their games either became less viable or, you know, died or whatever. And honestly, the whole situation is really crazy. You can go online and read more about it and see what was happening at Bungie. There's Bungie devs that are coming out every couple days with what was going on there, and you know, some people were actually literally working on content that will never release up until the last second. A lot of them didn't even know. And from my experience in games journalism and industry stuff, a lot of times a lot of the developers don't know until the last second. It's a corporate decision from way up top, from people sometimes that don't even work on the games at all, who make that decision, a publisher or somebody. And of course, they're owned by Sony. So ever since that acquisition, things have been difficult, and it just got worse and worse and worse. So thank you to everybody here and out there in the universe who joined us for our Azure Wardens Destiny 2 Clan and Community Night. Those were some very good times. We had some good videos and content and memories even before we started recording. And I actually still have some stuff and some good ones to post here in the near future too. So for those who are going to the final big bash of content, they're June 9th, they are putting up a big monument in the tower. It's probably going to stay there forever. And then they're having like a celebration. There's going to be tons of Bungie employees that plan to log into the tower to hang out with players during that time, and a bunch of other stuff that's planned, you know, like giveaways and freebies and stuff like that. There's all kinds of stuff going on. There's even like player made events that are like multi-clan, like massive events, slam the server events basically going on that day as well, and probably throughout that weekend. So it's still some fun to be had there, but you know, I consider my guardian Reika over there, you know, had kind of slipped away before the celebrations began and decided to go live a quiet life somewhere after fighting aliens forever. And I think other guardians in our community had mentioned either similar, or that, you know, they were going to go off and become a bounty hunter and fly off into space and whatnot. And so yeah, it's very bittersweet, but you know, again, I'm glad that it happened rather than not at all. And a lot of clans, you know, especially if you're not a big MMO where you have a full guild system, you know, huge guild system like we have here in 14. Destiny is 100 people capped, and you know, it's more of a drop in, drop out co-op than it is a full MMO. It's never been like that full MMO. So for that to live in a shooter for that long, that's a long time. And when I say 12 years, I do mean back to Destiny 1. So Warden started at, you know, somewhere in Destiny 1 when I didn't play it. And I played Alpha, and then I left for a while, and then I got back into it after D2. But we go back that far. Originally, we had a lieutenant that started the Wardens back in Heavensward. So that was a long time ago. But again, once again, one final thank you to everybody who joined us there. Let's see, 1 or 2 more things. Over in Elder Scrolls Online, we've got a good, you know, small handful of folks that are active over there. Over on the PlayStation and the PC, it is not cross-platform just yet. They are actually working on that now. I don't think it's going to be cross-guilds, though, so I think you're still going to need a guild on the platform of your choice, but the gameplay is actually, you know, you're going to be able to join people from different consoles here in the near future. They did recently start a Season 0 thing where they've introduced tomes. Yes, Elder Scrolls has tomes now. They're different than the tomes in 14, but they are almost similar in some ways, given that they're rewards collected by tomes that are currencies on a sort of rewards track. They do have a free and a paid version. Actually, it's not that bad from what it sounds like. But what is cool is that we do have some growing interest there. We do run 2 separate guilds because why not? You know, we can do that. And just recently, there's something that we obtained that we have been wanting for Azure for a very, very long time. And that is a bigger and better guild hall on both games, both Elder Scrolls, both PlayStation and PC. The reason for this was the fact that the old guild halls that we had since I think 2023 were owned by a member that used to be in council that I kind of thought was going to be there forever. He's still in the community, but he only logs in about once a month to check on a house, and that's it. And he's done that for a couple years now, so he's a little bit hard to get a hold of sometimes, and we don't have control of what we want to put in the hall when we have a new facility, a crafting station, a repair station, or whatever. You know, we want to be able to have control over that, and so I've been saving up for a very long time to get a really super ultimate ultra mega guild hall for these little ones that come up for about 2 weeks at a time and then they go away for like years. We had something come up recently that was like very worthy of Azure, you know, because there's a bunch that are like, you know, oh, here's a forest or here's like something underground, you know, and I'm just like, that's not really Azure. Like we've got a bit more of a like regal aesthetic. We want something like a castle, you know, or something like that, something really cool. And over there, if you've seen the housing over there, there's like huge zones that are the house and the areas around it is like this big area. So, it's humongous. And, yeah, I might have dropped some, like, I don't even know how many crowns it was. Crowns is the currency over there. It was a lot. It was a stupid amount. It was about $400 worth of crowns, on these two guild halls. So we have a huge castle, and it's like the castle from one of the latest expansions, and it's amazing. And it's actually connected to a castle town that you can walk out of the Azure Guild Hall over there and into the town that has all of the, like, you know, the bank and the different shops, like everything you could possibly need. It's right there. It's super cool. And there's a front door that actually leads out to a courtyard, which leads out to a gate. There's a whole portcullis and everything, if you know what that is. It goes across a bridge that's a huge stone bridge that goes across like a ravine and then onto a road that goes into the town. And there's a back entrance where you can actually like walk out and walk over a smaller bridge to go into the town that way too. And the whole like areas around it and everything. The screenshots that I took of it even caused someone to like re-download the game because they were like, oh my God, that's crazy looking. And I'm like, yeah, it's really cool. You know, like we basically have the red keep from Game of Thrones, except for it's not red. Like it's this awesome, amazing castle. And I've been decorating it for a while. It took me like a whole day to do it on both of them. And I got one done on PC and was like, oh, okay, let's turn on the PS5 and get that one done too for the PS5 people. So that's there now. It's linked through the menu. They have a weird thing where you kind of don't really have a guild hall. You actually have a person who owns a hall, and then they have to designate it as the guild's like teleporter, basically. And so now that's done. It's a little fickle on console, but it's done now. It's like you actually have to put in coding and stuff. It's weird. So that's actually done. So any of our ESO members, or if you've been wanting to check out Elder Scrolls Online, Azure has a really badass hall over there now on both systems. Sorry, we can't do a third on Xbox. It's 2 is a lot already, but you know, but hey, it's there. And you know, big thanks to those that have been helping build up the guild chest as well. Season 0 still has another good month in it or so it's a good time to get in when the game is trying this brand new thing. It's not exactly like an ARR situation, but it's a very big like refresh on how these things are done and how they're distributing content now. They're moving away from like login rewards and some of this other stuff and making it more obtainable through just doing other stuff and getting these tomes to buy stuff with. So it's actually really neat. So yeah, it's exciting. It's actually very, very nice, these castles. So we have 2 big castles. It's, if you know the game and you know where Skingred is, it's the castle of Skingred that, and of course I renamed it Infinitum Hall, but yeah, it's that entire thing. It's, yeah, ESO players will know. They'll be like, oh my God, that's crazy. You got that. So we have 2 of them, not 1, but 2. They're very cool. I will be making that announcement soon with a whole bunch of screenshots of it because I want to be able to show like a tour for anybody that's interested in what that looks like. It almost doesn't even look like it's from ESO. Like it's super cool looking. It's beautiful. The other nice thing too is that it actually has a scribing table in there that I worked hard to get on both of them, doing a Golden Pursuit a couple months back. All right, and so other than that, we talked a bit about Warframe earlier, and that's doing well. Like again, we upgraded the hall. That needs a lot more upgrades more regularly now, because the next hall/clan upgrade needs even more resources. So I think our wing commanders are working on stuff for that, and might announce something if it's needed, when there's something needed to focus on, or they might do that during clan nights. We will see. Wing commanders are essentially the guild leaders of our wings when we have them. We don't have a wing commander assigned to every wing. But if you are out there and you are interested in helping Azure spearhead a clan for what we currently have, or if we find something viable for future wings and you want to get involved, we currently are in great need of wing commanders and junior wing commanders, which we call pathfinders, for the following: World of Warcraft. We have Lieutenant Ceriz is actually our wing commander for WoW, though sometimes his activity varies over there, and then I keep an eye on it, here and there as much as I can on yet another screen. I got 11 screens going, so it's not too bad, but still, there's 5 computers. So, and we also need more help over in SOTOR, Star Wars: Old Republic, Elder Scrolls, and Guild Wars. So if anyone is interested in getting involved in any of those games with us, that would be awesome. We definitely need the help, and wing commander positions are really big for, if you want to be long term as somebody who's wanting to drive it forward, almost just like a guild master. The only thing is that if we have someone who's not within assist, we want to get them in assist. That's our scout ranks, Azure Scout Squad initiative that I talked about earlier. And then there's potential for coming up into leadership, even depending on how the results of the wing goes. So if you are comfortable and successful at helping lead one of these guilds for Azure, really what you're doing is you're leading it, but you're reporting to the council and I on the stats. So before any major decisions are made, we'll want to talk about it. Obviously the main goal is to keep all the wings uniform to Azure rules, Azure style, the way we do things, the way we group. Most of the stuff that we do is actually applicable to almost all of these games. There might be some things that are unique, or things that we might not be able to do in some. But like with WoW, for example, if we had weekly events there, grouping would be generally pretty similar. 15 minutes, we pick a place, there'd be a shout out for it, etc. So we need folks who are interested in doing things like that. As far as these positions or ranking up in Azure, it's always optional. It's always about how much you want to put into it. Obviously, there is a minimum, before we talk to somebody about, whether, it's effective or not, but it's meant to be comfortable and something to be proud of. So we want to see more people get involved, and it's not just in our wings either. We are looking for more scouts. We are always in need of more scouts. So scout's the first step up from member. It's a very flexible rank. It's it's about what you put into it. We have scouts that try to meet every need and solve every issue and help everyone. And usually, if you go too hard at that, you will get burnt out. So we don't recommend doing that all the time, every day. But scouts that are super active do get recognized and placed into sergeant category, which is the second level of scout that marks our most active or most involved scouts. Sergeants have the ability to request training for events, which is usually just a couple sessions of making sure that they understand how grouping procedures work, and that these events are led properly. And excuse me. And from that point forward, we'll clear them, assign them officially to the weekly duty roster, and they will become scout captains. So any scout captain that you see is an assigned and cleared host. Assigned and cleared without council supervision to continue running events for us. So scout captains typically are the wing commanders, scout captains, and up. But we'll assign scouts as pathfinders until they reach scout captain, and develop at least one weekly event for Azure, and then they'll rank up to not only scout captain but also wing commander, and be given lead, basically lead in a sense. Through a wing. So there's a lot of opportunities here and there as well. And then of course within 14 we need a lot of help. We're always growing, right? So we need party leads, which if you're hosting as a main host, you're doing the call outs, not the mechanic call outs, but the grouping call outs, and then you're forming the group and working with secondary and third and fourth hosts, to put the parties together. But if you are just comfortable being a backup party lead and you're within our scout ranks, please let us know, because we need more names on the roster. We've got a couple events in the week that are down to like 1 or 2 names, which is very bad. That's like barely able to support, a couple parties. And what if a third party shows up, or what if one person's sick and the other person has 2 parties where the people show up? It can get very dicey really quick. Now, that's not to say that a lot of people wouldn't understand how to just, run an event group. But because we keep such a close eye on chat and making sure things are done properly and timely and orderly and uniform in the way that Azure members are used to doing it each week, we usually don't want to tap somebody who's never done it before and give them the reins. We've seen people freeze up when given the reins, when they've never done it or trained or anything. And then of course we also have some very valuable players who are just good at everything in the game and understand how to do things like this, even if they've never ran an event group before. So it really varies. Everybody's different. But maybe that's something that you'd be interested in, that you've never tried. If you want to get more involved with Azure, take a step up to scout and kind of see how things are, and then after a little while, maybe come up to sergeant, and then start some event training and just become a backup or a main host. And we need those really bad, actually. So more than ever, and it's mainly because we've grown, and that's good, but we've got to support our growth at the same time by making sure the structure is solid. So though we are maintaining and not really in danger per se, we know that with growth, and especially opening up the second chapter, we're going to need more party leads, more hosts. So that being said, please send me a DM if you're interested in ranking up at all. Again, ranking up is never meant to be a stressful thing here. We've tried really, really hard to not make this like some guilds out there in the world who stress like, you got to be on this much, or you got to blah, 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 blah. We're sensitive to people have kids, people have jobs, people have school, etc. Some people have only so much time they can play. Some people are easily overwhelmed. There's all these different things. We want to make sure that you're able to still do something that you're proud of if you're interested in ranking up, and still know that we're not, people aren't going to be mad at you if you can't always do it or whatever. This is actually a great opportunity to get involved while still, having some understanding there. So, or some guilds are just you got to do this or else or whatever. It's just stupid. So, we want to give everybody a fair opportunity. And a lot of times I try to explain that the ranks are less of a ladder than they are horizontal, where we just need good people at every level. And of course, the council is higher in the hierarchy as leadership, but within the whole structure, it's a lot more fair to say that this is something we if you want to just stay a scout, great. If you're a member and you just want to stay a member, and you're like, I'm a helpful member and I'm comfortable with just being helpful. Okay, awesome. There's never any pressure to rank up. Never any pressure at all. But if you are wanting to take that step and kind of peer a little bit behind the curtain and kind of see, how things work, there's no harm in stepping down from scout if it's not for you. So just a shout out there to our Assist Corps, and also to our current members of Assist. Thank you again for being the best Assist team we've ever had. We have so many people these days that are just extremely kind, patient, understanding, hands-on with our members, helping new recruits feel welcome. Just a big shout out to our Assist members, and of course our star recruiters out there. Literally star, the special tactics and Recruitment Squad, STARS. They are currently Spin and Troa, who have been bringing in the most people with regular recruitment shouts and tells. Another big shout out to them this month, continuing to be our star recruiters. All right, we're just about at the end here, right on time. And I believe that's about it. Some people may have known that, or noticed that some of our weekly content that we post online has actually kind of started to come back to normal. There's a handful of posts per game, per website that we have Azure sites on, or Azure socials on, that get posted. So there's the stuff that I normally write, Japanese pop culture, game stuff, sometimes reviews, various things like that go up on azurenet.com, because azure-net.com is the original hub that was run around network originally. And Azure Infinitum.com is our community site, which also has content that flows over to there as well. Both websites, they make up the home hubs online of Azure. We also have our Azure X account, Azure on Blue Sky as well, Azure on Instagram, Azure on Threads, Azure on Pinterest, of all things, believe it or not. It actually works. Azure over on Reddit. There's an Azure Reddit that's specifically just an Azure Reddit. So, not only does news get posted there, but members can also post on there as well if they want to. Yes, Pinterest. Yeah, Azure on Pinterest. Yeah, look us up, Azure Infinitum on Pinterest. I have actually made albums on Pinterest for every different wing and game that we have, and update them almost every day. So, go check that out. Also, we have an Azure TikTok, and that's a combination of news posts, but every once in a while you're going to see event reels. You're going to see little reels with subtitles from our events, funny moments that we shared, or quirky things as well. And I'm going to be getting back to making those as well. Take a few months off that to focus on some other things. I had a really bad start to the year with getting sick, so that slowed me down a little bit. But the more the merrier, since TikTok gets a lot of traffic really fast, like a couple minutes after posting, and several hundred people have already viewed, and there's already a few comments. So it's really, really fast, actually, and we want to keep that up. The momentum is really, really good. I think we just recently crossed 1,000 likes, pretty easily on there, since I've only had it for a little bit. But there's that as well. And I think there's Azure on Tumblr as well. There is that as well. So, and of course the YouTube, and YouTube posts, I actually do posts on YouTube. If you go to the channel, you go to the community section on the YouTube channel for Azure. The videos have not been updated in a little while. I was doing event videos almost every day, and it was a ton of editing. It was taking up a ton of time. And I actually will be doing that again now that I have software that's going to make that easier for me, and faster as well. I've got a backlog of videos going back through all of last year that I still haven't gotten to yet, besides the most important stuff like the assembly stuff. So, that's still going to be posted. It's just, there was a lot of other stuff within Azure that it was more important for me to take care of. And of course, those who are at the events have already experienced them. But sometimes we get some pretty funny moments that are man, I wish we had that recorded, so that's why I started recording a lot of the events. It does get a little bit exhausting to try and remind everybody that I'm recording all the time, but just know that if you're in an event, most likely we're saving content for our YouTube. And of course we can always edit stuff. So if there's something that, happened or was uncomfortable or whatever, we're not going to leave that stuff in there, but it's mainly for reels and funny moments and some highlights for the YouTube, because doing that actually shows people what it's like inside of our community. And of course, being who we are, we've been around for a long time. We've had a good amount of bans, and we've also been known here as a top FC on Midgard and Ether. And you don't go that far without having, some weirdos out there saying weird stuff about your community, or trying to freak other people out and get them to leave. So what's really great about the YouTube is that you can actually look inside Azure, watch our events, see us having fun, see us laughing together, and just totally see what it's like here on a regular day-to-day basis. And a lot of times that's caused people to join. So win-win. So it's really nice to be able to promote the FC that way and also save memories. And of course, a lot of the video content as well as the reels do get posted to the other socials as well. So you're going to see some stuff like that as well across the board. We also, one more, we also have a Facebook page for Azure Global, which is a little bit of everything. It's a mix of things, but also stuff that's like almost every article that gets posted to the website will be on there, as well as an Azure Facebook page for each individual wing, including the FC. There's an FC Facebook page. There's a Star Wars Destiny, well, there was. It's still up there. I'm not going to remove it, but there is an Azure SOTOR Facebook page, a Guild Wars Facebook page. You know, there's one for each one. So, yeah, and of course the wing ones are small, but they're meant to grow over time and continue to post content from those games. That's why they're separated. You know, that way they're individual. So if somebody doesn't want to see content from a game they don't play, they don't have to subscribe or like that particular Azure page on Facebook. It's only Facebook that's way. I'm not going to do that on every site, but it's easiest to do that on Facebook because you're kind of all tied to one account. So. Other than that, yeah, check us out online. There's all kinds of stuff to find and discover on there. You might find some old funny stuff. You might find some cool updates and news. And I'm back to posting there just about every day or so. And this is not only for our members to be able to conveniently follow Azure on their favorite social media sites, and it's also for people to discover us as well. Like recently we had posted that tribute to our fallen member Suvi, which we did a recent article about. Unfortunately, we didn't have too many more like photos or much content to use, but I was able to share a bit of memories on there, and to kind of make a memorial post per se, for him. And again, rest in peace, dear friend Suvi. I know recently over on TikTok, the shared article that came from the website tribute, there was a little tribute on there as well, and that blew up recently as well. So a lot of other Warriors of Light, learning for the first time, and saying goodbye and stuff like that. It was just very, very sweet. So there's all kinds of stuff on our sites. So but we've talked about a lot today. We went over chapter 2 and the big announcement about chapters. Say there's another game that we need to do the same thing for. We'll continue to use that terminology, Azure Infinitum chapters. I think in the future, as we continue to build, there will be people who are like, yeah, I was in chapter 2 for like 3 years and it was awesome, and stuff like that. And they might come over to 1, and whatnot. And it's something that we're starting now, and there's so much potential, and 14 as our core is not going anywhere, of course, and the game is certainly just now starting its new arc. I kind of wrote Dawn Trail off as a filler, so Godless Realm is Saga is beginning with Evercold. So very cool, very, 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 very promising, knowing that we're now it's almost like we're back in Heaven's Word all over again, where we're looking at starting this whole another probably decade of adventure. So, and my chair arm keeps hitting my my Razor Tartarus and moving Reka. There we go. What is doing that? It's like just trying to sit down. Okay. Wow, I actually don't know what's causing that to cause her to run. That's so weird. Is it the controller? No, it's not. Yeah, there's nothing pressing on my controls here. That's weird. Okay, it stopped. Nope, it did it again. My character won't stop running. What do I do? Why is it doing this? What in the world? Okay, yeah, I've never experienced that before. Okay, it thinks I'm using my Azeron Cyborg. Let's see. Did that stop? Wow, it literally won't stop. That is crazy. The ghost of Ranch Past. I love it. Okay, so this is hilarious. I cannot control the character. Oh, it stopped. It stopped. Okay. Let me reset that. That just happened randomly. I thought it was me touching the Tartarus. What's really strange is now the controller's not responding. Okay, well, as I try to figure this out, we're going to do our third raffle. That is so weird. Yeah, usually if that happens, I look over and I'm like, oh, there's something sitting on one of my other controllers or keyboards that are connected. And, you know, that's totally not what's happening at all right now. I have no idea what's happening here. I even unplugged stuff and she's still running around. I think she's excited. I think my character is really excited for this third raffle. As long as you've rolled one time since we started the raffle, then we'll count it. Unless it's a tie. If it's a tie, then one person tied needs to roll again. Oh, since you already won something, that was a different raffle, so you can certainly roll again. Okay. Is she going to stop running? That was hilarious. All right. Oh, good one, Johnny. He's got the he's got the Shantoto laugh. All right, numbers are rolling in again. That's 3-digit number on Twitch or on let's see here. Okay, now my computer is doing some strange things. I weirdly had the mouse change into another symbol. On Grand Assembly chat, that's 3-digit number. Huh, that's weird. Okay, yeah, something is definitely happening with my controls. My channel list in Discord was automatically going up and down on its own. Well, this thing has been on for 2 days, so I don't know. That might be bad. I usually never do that, but... I wonder if... Let's see here... I really hope I didn't download some malware or something. That is wild. Huh. Well, it decides that it won't let me click my tabs anymore on my browser. So, yeah, I think a restart is required pretty soon. So, I'll just bear with me here. Hopefully, nothing interrupts the stream or recording. It's acting so weird right now. Yeah, look at that. My mouse just changed into not the game mouse. Well, hopefully we don't get suddenly disconnected. Let me see if I can take a look at the... Okay, it will let me do this at least. Yeah, I swear there's like a poltergeist trying to control this thing at the moment. It's really weird. Those that are watching my stream, you're only seeing the stream, the game side of it. You're not seeing what's happening on my my other windows here. It's very strange. All right, got a few more rolls. Anybody else? Anybody else want to enter? Now's a chance. This is the final raffle. This is for a mount. I didn't really like truly properly introduce her, but Kiora over here is another alt of mine that is, like I said earlier, Chapter 2's going to be Chapter 2's leader. It's currently on an alt of Terry's to transfer to me as soon as it lets us. And she is actually based on a character from one of my old stories that I was actually working on making into a novel that I wanted to make into a light novel after that. It's still up in the air. I might still release it. But she is a knight character with long black hair with blue streaks. And she's a samurai. And I had her in the game quite a while ago designed. And an old friend of mine was actually using her design for a while after I made his character. And then he quit like some time ago. And I went ahead and was like, okay, I think she can come back now. Instead of a paladin, I made her a samurai this time. That's Kiora of the nation of Stromgalt. It's a very, very cool story. Maybe you'll have to release a few chapters one of these days. Oh my gosh, Rika is so excited running around. It's kind of weird because like it'll respond to the controller and I'm able to get her to stop for a second and then she takes off again. All right, let me go ahead and random if it lets me. If not, I'll just close my eyes and make up a number, or I'll use Google RNG if it doesn't let me. Okay, it's letting me. It's letting me. 319. 319. Let's take a look here. Did I see Ranch Samurai in the chat? Cutting up the chicken with the chicken bacon ranch. Yeah, I'll probably just restart it and then come back here after the end of the assembly. The machine spirit. Nice. It's a Warhammer reference. All right, 319. Checking our chats. I don't see anything else here. Well, it suddenly won't let me look at Twitch, so I'm going to have to open that up on another device real quick and check. Just to be fair. I can't see if someone entered there at the moment. Checking. Okay, there we go. Pull it up on another computer. Okay, I don't see anything. I don't see anything so far. If it has not updated or something, just repost it. None of these are close in Discord. It looks like, let's see, someone said Kasura with a 388. 388. Scrolling up here. Let me see here. Where was the 388 at? I might have missed it. Let's see, up here? No, let's scroll back down. No, there's no ranch in my controller, I promise. My old keyboard, I did get some in. That happened once. That was a thing. Well, high 200s would be closer than 388 anyway. I just don't see 388 anywhere. Oh, you know what? Oh, I think I know why. I think I know why. This room's length is actually the length that you can see a say chat or a roll. And since she's running around crazily because my computer's acting up or whatever, I might have not seen that one in the log, but I'm pretty sure I got most of them. But you guys are also seeing them too, and I trust that since scouts are reporting that that's one I missed there, 388. Okay. Or one I can't see from the log, the random running around. So okay, so I rolled 319. .388 is a ways away from that. Somebody had 278. Because 278 is, what, 20, let's see, 22, so if it's about 40... What, 41 or 39? Wait. Math. 37. Yeah, I can't see here if there's any other. What? Oh, now the mouse is acting up. What the heck? Yeah, I think Critalis, I think, is the closest on that one because it's a low 300. It's 319, and a high 200 would be the closest. Not one that's in the 80s. Yep. All right. Just wanted to make sure. I was checking all the screens and PC's acting up weirdly. So, all right. Congrats, Critalis. Congratulations. Where are you at? Oh, right there. Right. Literally right next to me. Okay. You have won a Cosmo board. Enjoy. And if you already have it, you can always sell it or give it to a friend. But congrats. Congratulations. And when we go into the new planet soon, we can all ride our cosmic mounts. Well, it seems to be fine again. Let me see. See if it. Okay. All right, Reika, sit down. Okay, guys. We are going to move into our Q&A portion. This won't be a long part of the assembly, but announcements are over, so. You know, that's the last raffle, and if you have to run, no worries at all, no hard feelings. If you would like to stay and either announce a static or a eternal bond ceremony, if you have any questions, comments, proposals, concerns, comments for the council and I, please step up to the podium up here at the front. And if you have something that you want to ask at the stage here in VC, you can use the request to speak. It's the little hand wave thing. You can use that option as well. Looks like we have one as well. Oh, it's also Critalis. Okay. Let me bring you up here. Hey, Critalis.
Hey, so at this point, this is pretty regular every month. I'm not going to shill a static at this point that I have been for the past few months. Unfortunately, it's end of an expansion and everything, and most people have cleared everything they want to clear at this point, and it's just not the time. I will say, whenever Cold comes out, you're going to hear from me a lot. But there's just something I wanted to add on to from what you talked about earlier.
Sure.
About specifically the Monstrous Mondays.
Okay.
My first one was this week, actually.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I am a scout, and I am someone that enjoys the harder content, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And this is specifically geared towards, I guess, the newer members or people that aren't used to that harder content and may be intimidated by it. I will say, Coco and that whole crew over there, I got people killed for about an hour and a half. Do not feel intimidated by the fact that you're entering harder content, or if you're new, just you're intimidated by the fact that people may be more familiar with the content than you. You're not holding people down. The whole point of that is to get you familiar. Everybody was really nice. They let me kind of murder them for hours. It took about an hour and a half before I wasn't the guy that got everybody killed. So I encourage people that are interested in doing the harder content to just come in. The whole point of it is so you can learn and have some fun. And whenever Cold comes out, I'm going to be making a new static, so please contact me about that. But that's a while down.
Yeah, usually it's about a month into the expansion, and they usually time it when the Time Worn maps and the Savage will usually come out like right at the same time. So it's about a month in. So we're probably looking at February at the earliest.
But yeah, mainly I just want to give that caveat for anybody that might be new that's listening that's interested in kind of the harder stuff and learning that. Don't be intimidated. Just hop in. I literally got called out the whole time to be like, this is how this works. And it wasn't mean, it wasn't malicious, it was just, I didn't know. I've watched the videos and it's, until you do it, it's hard. That's the reason it's the new content.
Yeah.
And don't be intimidated and just join and have some fun. That's all I really wanted to say.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing, and I think that definitely probably makes it more comfortable for folks that are curious about it or kind of wondering like what it's like for a new person to show up on Mon to learn those EX trials. So, thank you for sure for sharing that, and I'm glad you had a good experience. All right, Spin. Let me see here. Did you want to type something or do you want to request to speak? It's up to you. I could invite you up to the stage or... Okay, Spin's typing. Yeah, actually, let me pull that up. I've got the thing up here right now. Actually, let me go to Ranks page. So if you go to Ranks page under Community on our site, all the information and prerequisites that we have for Ranks are on there. So basically, as long as you have completed Heavensward and you have been in Azure for at least 4 weeks, you can join Scouts. So it's not so much a level requirement as it is just content. And the reason for that is because, being fresh out of ARR, you're still pretty new, especially these days. You can get through it rather quickly. But by the time you've completed Heavensward, you have a little bit more of a grasp on the game, and you actually have enough dungeons and trials to actually be able to be helpful to another newbie. So that's why we chose Heavensward. We thought Shadowbringers or Stormblood was a little too far in, and still had people that were like, taking their time with ARR or Heavensward and here for like a while. And, we're at that point. And so I like to think back to when we were all there, we had requirements back then. And it was like, well, like I'm pretty sure, even though we were going through it slower, like when it was all new, it's just, it was just better for us to pick one of the earlier points, but not too early. So yeah, as long as someone is at that point, then they're welcome to join Assist and become a Scout. Good question. Okay. Do we have anybody else that had any comments, questions, proposals, personal events that they want to advertise, groupings of their own? Members are welcome to do things like that. You have something that you want to plan and host, you're welcome to do that. We just ask that things don't overlap with the official weekly events. But if you have something like that, this is the place. As well as don't forget our LFG services do exist. There's that comes in the form of a channel on our Discord under the 14 category for LFG. Of course, there's other LFGs for the other games as well. Don't forget that sometimes new channels get made, or maybe there's new channels that don't show up right away when you join us. So if you go to browse channels at the top of the list, you can actually activate channels that you're not seeing in our Discord as well. So there might be things that people might be missing, that some people are like, I can't believe we have a pets channel or a selfies channel or this LFG channel or something, and it's because they joined and they didn't activate it when they joined. So that's actually something I meant to mention earlier, that there's a lot of channels that may not be activated in our Discord. And what's nice about that, on the other hand, is you can deactivate the ones for the games that you don't play or that you have no interest in seeing. you can do that as well. So it's very customizable. That's why we don't mind having a lot of categories and channels for everything that we offer, because anybody can technically customize what they see on the sidebar there. But that being said, yes, any other proposals, questions, ideas, comments, feedback for Council and I, anything that you might want to say. If you're on Twitch, you can also comment, and I can also read it to the group as well. We just want to give a moment here. This is the segment, even if there's nothing else, at least, this is that moment. There might be someone who doesn't want to say something publicly. They might want to, give a proposal for something, or give some feedback privately. Then, that's fine too. Just please DM if that's the case. Otherwise, step up to the podium here or request to speak in stage chat. Give it about another minute. Any questions about Chapter 2 or any of the stuff that we talked about here today, that's very welcome. And of course, if you think of anything later, feel free to, reach out to any council member or I as well. And we'll give just a moment here. Sarah Vanille. All right, bringing up to the stage. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you for bringing up the second one again. I forgot about that. But
yes,
for fellow Sprouts and I, how do we obtain a link show so that we can talk to the other people?
All we got to know is that you want one. I'll send you it now.
Cool. Awesome. I didn't know if that was something else.
Yep. Yep. And we definitely, like I said, we definitely need folks that enjoy chatting, as well as people of rank and members that just like help keeping an eye out as well. So that way, when we do start, like right now, like I said, there's only alts over there right now, but it's prepared and it's ready to go. So as soon as the FC's main roster caps again, which could happen any day, as we are always getting apps and members, then we are going to start having folks show up there. Plus, like I said, I did want to kind of boost it, so that way we start getting a little activity there too. So anybody that wants to be a part of that that network of communications, just ask for the link shell.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Alrighty, last call for anyone else, anybody else. And again, don't forget that, our avenues of communication here are pretty vast. We have, these link shells on top of FC chat, on top of, being able to DM leaders or send tells to leaders. It's very easy to get in contact, and then of course this whole assembly acts as our way of, being able to all communicate together. I can yap at you guys for 2 hours and you'll get all the information that you need. And you can also ask, questions as well, and participate in the chat as well. So this is just another avenue here. We like to have our live meeting. That's actually goes back to the very beginning where, we preferred having a live meeting at least once a month. We tried the bi-monthly thing mostly last year, and it was just not enough. So really enjoy just being able to meet with everybody here and those who show up, and folks that come on Twitch and then are also here in the channel. And of course, not to forget those that actually watch this recording in the future who couldn't be here with us when this was live, but are hearing this now and, some point in the future with Azure Grand Assembly Cast as we post this afterwards. So it's a great way of, being able to touch base each month. But don't forget, there's always a chance to talk about things afterwards as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Appreciate those, who came today, everybody that stayed to the end. Congrats to our raffle winners. And I hope you guys had a fun time. And, thanks for bearing with me. I had a lot to talk about. We usually afford about 2 hours for announcements. Try to keep it, just under, and then do a little Q&A. So we're right about that time now. And, yeah, here we are. So, thanks again, guys. This was our May Assembly. Today we covered the official, formal, community-wide announcement of Chapter 2, the retirement of our Destiny clan, our plans going forward for the next, good 6 months or so, and the upcoming stuff that, is coming up for Azure and for 14. And, and then again, like tomorrow, the tournament's tomorrow. Vidario defending that title once again. See if he can get through another defense, or will we crown a new champion? It remains to be seen. Again, 32 million in bounty, in rewards. So, and the prize is for the prize item. Sorry, the prize item goes to the one that can beat Vidario, but the other prizes, like I mentioned, the gill and stuff that we give away for those prizes, that's the prize that goes for the tournament victor. Just to be clear, there's one bounty item that's special for that, the one that can beat Vid. So I didn't fully mention that earlier. I mentioned that it was all for the tournament, but yeah. So if you can also beat him, you score an even bigger prize. But it's still a pretty big prize pot already. You could bid on a good house with that. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you again, and thanks to all who are on Twitch with us. Everybody here in the channel, everybody here in game, those who might be watching this stream from our other wings as well, and those in the future from AssemblyCast. This is an awesome moment in our history, opening up our second chapter. And the road to Evercold is it might feel long, but it's gonna get here before we know it, and it's gonna be ever quick. So gotta end it with a ridiculous pun. All right, my friends,